All right, everybody, we are ready once again. This is the 2014 U.S. Bar Table Championships presented to you by CueSports International and by Bad Boys Billiard Productions. And we have another winner's side match for you. This is our last match of the evening, featuring Jesse Engle and the South Dakota Kid SVB. Race to 7. CueSports International rules for 10 ball here. It's call ball in pocket, which means that you don't have to call obvious shots just like in 8 ball, but you have to call combinations and banks and things of that nature. If you miss the pocket you called and intended to make the ball in and it goes in elsewhere, your opponent has the option to shoot or make you shoot again. And if you miss the ball you're playing and pocket any other ball, the opponent also has the same option. Nothing spots except for the 10. The 10 does not count as a win in any pocket on the break. So here we go, the South Dakota Kid. And I notice he's breaking from the same place Jason Klatt broke. And as I mentioned to you earlier, that Shane was sitting there watching a good 2/3 of that match. He left when it was 6-5. But he watched a good 5 or 6 or 7 racks, and I know he paid close attention to where Jason was breaking. Now, whether Shane has been breaking from there all day, I don't know. This is the first time we've seen him play. But if he continues to break like he just did there, he's going to do okay. Got a pretty friendly roll there. That could have come out a lot worse. But you would expect that to be it for this rack. This is an alternate break format, and they must rack the balls with the 1, 2, 3 in the corners. And for their break to be legal, they must either make a ball or drive 4 object balls to the cushions. A push-out is allowed following a legal break, and the 3-foul rule is in effect. Hurry up. Shane missed one like this in the Moscone Cup at a very critical time. Not on a 7-footer, of course, but I'm sure that's one he remembers. I know most of us do. But he gets out of the gate with a break and run, and he leads in the match 1-0. Jesse Engle coming to the table now. As I mentioned earlier about guys like Oscar and Jason and Brandon, I'd like to put Jesse Engle in that category too, of just a real fine young player, representative of our game. Always a gentleman, handles himself with great class and dignity around the table. He's a terrific young player regardless, but represents our game very, very well. Well, a nice shot there, but no reward for Jesse. He's hooked on the 3. Looks like jump cue time. The women are underway in the 10-ball division. I don't know how many actual matches are playing, but they are underway, and you can find out who's playing who at ctsondemand.com. You can see all the online brackets. And then just a little over an hour, the US Open One Pocket will begin, and you can also track that online. Nice shot. Give him a shot. Attaboy. Nicely done there by Jesse. Got a clean look at the 4. No danger of scratching in the side here. Probably just bounce out, play the 5 in the corner where he's standing. No need to try to get to the 5 in the side here. I mean, he may, if it lays that way. That's perfect. I think he can go forward here without risking hitting the 10. I need to check it a little bit. He was able to. It's good speed. And notice how he's taken care to maintain his angles on these last 3 or 4 shots, which just makes the game so much easier. And looks like we're going to open this up with back-to-back break and runs. Piece. Shane breaking. Rack 3. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning, 10 o'clock a.m. Pacific time will be our first 10-ball match, and we'll have 10-ball for you all day tomorrow. 106 players on the men's side. I didn't get the number yet for the women. I'll get that information for you and have it in the morning as to how many entries we have for the ladies. And Shane's going to play the 3-ball carom here. Should be easy to control the 1. Just doesn't want to get straight on the 1, and he is a little straight. You can only get 1 pocket for the 4 unless he comes up for the sides. I think he's going to go forward with 2 rails here. Doesn't want to be on the cushion. Well, this is going to play a little bit tougher, because he's going to have to elevate. I want you to notice, too, that Shane's cue is longer than normal. And I'll explain why in a second. Nice shot. He has about a 6 or 8 inch extension. It's right under his hand now. And you know, I mean, he had the extension, you know, for shots that you would normally need it on a 9-footer. And he put it on I think it was a Derby, and I think he played the entire Derby event with the extension on, and I haven't seen him take it off since. And of course, he played great at Derby. Look at this. That's very un-Van Boening-like. And he's going to hand Jesse an easy rack here. But nevertheless, Shane has been playing with the extension. I think he might have put it on in Derby for the opening event, which was the Bigfoot 10-ball challenge, which was played on the 5x10 table. And I think he played with it in that event and played well enough with it that he got very comfortable with it. And he just continued to use it all the way throughout the Derby City Classic. And he used it at last week at the Markulis in Sacramento. I assume if he played in the Swanee, he used it there too. And I think it's now just the way he plays. Like he needed more help, right? He needs to bounce a little. Needs a little more. That's all right. Isn't it funny though sometimes how when you get a ball in hand with a 3-4 ball cookie out, that very first shot, you just never get exactly where you wanted to get on the next ball. I sometimes feel that there's added pressure with ball in hand. I mean, of course, there's a lot of variables there to make that statement, but I think you know what I'm saying is, because when you get ball in hand and you play like these guys do, you're expected to finish the rack. And you come up a little short, or you go a little too long on your very first shot, and you start to, Jesus Christ, with ball in hand, I couldn't even get shape on the first ball. And then we all know what that can lead to. I guess he's going to have to play this in the corner and go 3 rails around the 10. Missed it. Boy, Shane should feel awfully lucky. I mean, he scratches with 4 balls left on the table, and he gets back to the table. But like I said, Jesse came up a little short on the 8. And that caused him to come up short or not go far enough on the 9. Either way, he was right on the 50-yard line for the 9, and it caused him to miss a shot. And there's no way that Jesse can win giving those kind of games to Shane after Shane handed it to him on a silver platter. I mean, Jesse should really be ahead 2-1 here in breaking. Now he's got to play, you know, break and run to stay even with Shane. He was given a service break, and he gave it right back. Jesse is from Columbia Heights, Minnesota. And let's say he's been playing now a good 3-4 years in these pro events. Plays with a Predator. It made a ball, but one does not look like it passes, even if he had a better angle on it, which he doesn't. It would go if you had ball in hand, because you could cheat the pocket, but from where he is, he cannot pocket the 1 ball in that corner. And the 5 and 7 are pretty ugly there. So that's going to need some attention, although the 4 ball might be able to help as far as opening those up. But there's a long way to go before we get to that. that's not going to help. You could try to break those up now, and you just got to hope the one hangs around, and it did, but now he can't make the one and get on the two. So I think he'll play safe and send the cue ball down by the two, leaving the one down there. And of course, sitting up here trying to guess what this guy's going to do is not really what I'd like to do for a living. But that looks like the natural shot to me. But he's called it cross side. So how's he going to get on the deuce? Can he hit this with a... He's going to draw it 3 rails around? Look at this shot. Look at this shot. Shot, Shane. Good Lord. I mean, he hit that like he's practicing. Also continues to, not that he has to send any messages to his opponent, but it's basically saying, I'm going to shoot at everything. You're going to have to outshoot me. You can't outsafe me or outplay me. And I actually think not that it probably made a difference there, but I do think that now that he's playing with his this longer length Q-Tech, he's just got even more confidence than he had, and you wouldn't have thought he could get any more. Mark another one up for the South Dakota kid. It's 3-1 with him breaking. And we'll kind of look back and see if Jesse not getting out in that third game with ball in hand is going to come back and cost him dearly. You would certainly think it would. Shane took his 3rd Derby City 9-ball title here about a month ago. Maybe, yeah, just about 3-4 weeks ago. But I will say, and I think he may admit it too, he was pretty darn lucky there against John Mora in that last game. John Mora kicked at a 2-ball, made one of the best kicks I'd ever seen, and the 2 went right in the side, and the cue ball stuck right behind the 9-ball. And John was leading 8-7 at the time in a race to 9 for the championship. But Mr. Mora went up a couple more notches for his Derby City performance. He already has a bank pool title, and he came awfully close to having a 9-ball title. But his game is still on the rise, and he has a great temperament for the game. But as great a player as Shane is, and just like all the great champions of all the present and past years, by the way, he's called the 1-ball in the side. He's going to try to carry him in and off the 7-ball. As I was saying, all the great players, if you ask them to a man, they'll tell you that at some point you've got to get a little bit of good fortune to win these highly competitive events. But when Shane won his 3rd U.S. Open 9-ball last year, and 2nd in a row, you didn't really need a whole lot of luck, because he made everything. We talked earlier about Mika being almost made it into the Hall of Fame this year. And we expect that to happen, you know, in the next 1 or 2 elections. I don't think anybody would disagree with the fact that Shane is going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer the moment he reaches 40 years old, which is one of the criteria to get inducted into the greatest player category. In addition to your accomplishments, you also have to be 40. But there's a handful of great players right now in the 35 to 40 year bracket, maybe even a little less than that, that you can probably predict are going to be all meeting up there eventually. Guys like Darren Appleton and Alex Pagulayan. Right off the top of my head, as we said, you know, Shane. Guys like Torsten Homan. And Jesse's called the 10 ball. So it's going to get crowded in the Hall of Fame here in the next 5 to 10 years. And of course, Dennis Orcullo. I mean, the guy's, you know, he'd be in tomorrow if he was old enough. So a lot to look forward to, and it's just great that we're all able to see these guys, a lot of whom are great champions right now that maybe have not even reached their prime yet. Nevertheless, Jesse gets one back. It's 3-2, and he has a chance now to tie up the match. Shane won the all-important lag. If it does get to 6-6, he will have the break in the final game. Everybody's breaking off the cushion now. I don't recall anybody breaking with their hand on the table. Well, that's like instant death there. Perhaps the only temporary saving grace here is this 10's going to get spotted and prevent the 9 from going in the corner. It may even prevent the 9 from going in the side, but with ball in hand right here, he, depending on if the 3 passes, well, it doesn't, so he can't open him up here. But he's got the 6 to open him up with, or the 7 with the 8 in front of the side, and maybe the 9 goes in the side. He doesn't seem to be too concerned with that. He already knows what he's going to do. Well, evidently the 9 does go in the side. I don't think this would have been the angle he would have chosen to break him open off the 7. Well, that's a little too far. He didn't want this angle. He'll make it work probably, but he didn't want to have the cue ball travel this far. Those always seem to fall in for the great players, don't they? Well, Jesse paid dearly for his scratch on the break, and I guess you're supposed to. But this guy don't need no help. Look at that cue ball. Look where that cue ball is. Look where the one ball is. Look where the rest of the balls are. Rack them up. He probably hit those balls at 30, 40% of his power. Look out here. He can see it. He knows how lucky he got there too. He shouldn't have been anywhere near that ball. And this will make it 5-2. You know, one of these days that magic rack's going to cost him a shot. I don't know if any of us will be around to see it, but like I said, I get chills and shivers when I see guys do that. I mean, would you shoot the championship tournament winning ball that way? I mean, how could you ever forgive yourself if something happened? Well, nevertheless, Jesse has to win this game, or it's going to be pretty much a foregone conclusion. He needs to win this game, and Shane needs to have Shane make a mistake. Shane's only made one mistake. Scratch on the 6-7 ball there in the second rack. Jesse made the 1 and the 2. He can see the 3, and I think he best bank it cross side because you just cannot. You can't go down not shooting here. Plus, I mean, it lays good. Makes the 3s on the 4, the 5, 6s, you know, very, very makeable. I'd be really surprised if he did not bank this ball. Well, maybe I am going to be surprised because he didn't indicate cross side.
So if you get knocked out of 10 balls before the zone, we'll give you a second chance. We'll start ticket signs tomorrow until 1 o'clock. And we'll try to start the second chance
one rail to his right. No, he called it off. He had called it one rail to his right. Now he waved it off. Well, this one he's got to bank. Now, come on, Jesse. Don't make a liar out of me twice. He let off on it just enough for it to widen out. I really thought he'd give it more of a stun stroke. He's in such rhythm, he's not even chalking up. He hasn't chalked up this whole inning. I mean, that's how good he's feeling. Still no chalk. Who needs chalk when everything's a cookie? If you've joined us late today, you're going to get an opportunity to see everything that you didn't see, because when this match is over, we're going to reloop the entire day's play, beginning with the probably the Frost-Schuff match. I know we replayed that earlier today, but I don't think we got through the replay, and it was, in my opinion, the most exciting and best played match of the day. Especially the final game is really a game that you want to see. It wasn't Hill-Hill, it wound up 7-5, but the final rack was really something to behold, with the great safety play and the out that Scott made. But we will show you all the matches, including this one, and that'll loop until we get to getting back with you live tomorrow. Now, it does go to pay-per-view tomorrow. Today is a courtesy stream from the Action Report to thank all of you guys for being with us and for what you've done to support TAR all these years. But got to pay a few bills here starting tomorrow. So, but it only gets better from here. The 9-ball division will be next, and then we'll finish with the 8-ball division. But don't forget, Friday evening, and at a time to be announced in a few days, we will be streaming the U.S. Open One Pocket semifinals and finals. They'll move the 9-footer in here probably sometime Thursday night after play is over, or sometime during the day on Friday. But by Wednesday or Thursday, we should have a pretty good idea of when that's going to go off, and we'll let you know. But you will see that. Jesse has no pocket for the 1 ball. whole lot of places to hide either. Probably going to try to go behind the 5 here, I think. It's a small area to get to. I mean, maybe this goes. Doesn't look it. Maybe it goes. Well, he controlled the cue ball really nicely, too. If he didn't catch the point there, he would have played the safe that he intended. Gotta just really feather this. He's got to thread a couple more needles on this shot. Low left and off, low right off the 9. Didn't even need to hit the 9. How good was that? Where are you going? I think he does this crap on purpose just to give himself a challenge. And it's going to be a 7-2 victory for Shane over young Jesse Engle. No, Jesse ain't so young anymore, but the South Dakota kid ain't a kid anymore either. But that's not going to stop him. 7-2 for Shane, and that's going to bring us to a conclusion for our live action for you guys today. I want to say thanks very, very much to all of you for supporting TAR and for being with us here at the 21st U.S. Bar Table Championships. We will be back with you live at 10 a.m. tomorrow Pacific. Stay tuned for the loop, everybody. And once again, thanks for being with us. This is Ken. We'll see you tomorrow.